Hello, my friends. Thanks for joining me. I am getting started on a fairy journal, and I am super excited about this journal. I am doing this journal for the collaboration that is hosted by Soleil and Craft and Marianne's Craft Corner. The hashtag is monthly journal share, and videos get posted on the 28th of each month. I had been planning and talking about doing a fairy journal for a while now, and because I had been mentioning it here and there for about a year now, several of you had sent me some things that had fairies on it. So I want to mention some of those folks right now before I even get started. Carol of Carol's Crafted Boutique sent me some fabric with fairies on it. Also this purple fairy on my table here that you can see she sent to me. Also my friend Catherine of Created by Catherine, she had sent me some stuff. It's been a while, and she sent me some beautiful green fabric and some green buttons and trim and some other goodies that I'll be able to use. What you see here are some rice papers that I purchased online on Etsy, and I'm excited to use them. I've had them for a while now. As you can see, not all of these are going in the fairy journal. I had a unicorn in there because I had also bought some of those, but so I need to put those aside. But I was just kind of gathering the items that I'm going to use for this journal. Let's get to decorating this window envelope, and also I think today we'll go ahead and decorate some ephemera that's going to go in it. So I have this card, and this is going to fit perfectly inside. They didn't come together, but they happen to work well together. So I think that's a great start. I have grabbed some vintage music paper, and we are going to go ahead and use this. I cut out a piece from the rice paper that I had. This is a piece with a fairy on it, and we are going to go ahead and decoupage that and attach it to the music paper. Now with rice paper or papers that are like that, they're not translucent, but they are very thin, so you can see what you put them on. So for example, you will be able to see the music notes coming through the image. When I'm working with decoupage, I don't always add an extra coat on the outside of it, but because this music paper is so fragile, I not only attach the image with the decoupage, but I'm also going to cover the image with the decoupage, and then that way everything will be a little thicker and more secure, and it will last for a very long time. I wanted to thank you again for being here and spending some time with me. I also want to mention, for those of you that hadn't heard about it yet, I am having a Road to 2K giveaway challenge, and I'm just asking that you guys think of a theme that you would like me to use to make a journal. And whatever your theme is, send me a piece of ephemera in that theme. And whichever theme gets the most suggestions, requests, votes, whatever you want to call it, that is the journal that I'm going to make for the giveaway. And I just thought that would be fun and interactive, and I'm very excited to see which journal theme wins out. I will attach my original video to my description box just so that you can see all the, rules and requirements for it. Not that there's that many, there's not. It's pretty simple, but still, I'll attach that video so you can go check it out and you can comment there. And that way I can keep everything squared away, and I don't want to lose track of anything. If somebody wants to participate, I want to make sure that I have their information down and all of that good stuff. As you can see, that piece that we were working on decoupaging, it has dried. So I am now putting some glue on the back of it, and then we're going to flip that over and put that on the front of this beautiful gold and blue card. So let's have a little fun and continue to decorate this envelope. The first thing we will do is start with some of this rice paper that has a fun image on the other side. I'm using decoupage just like I did the other piece that we made. I have some pretty gold washi tape. My friend Catherine at Created by Catherine sent this to me. And now you guys know I don't really trust washi tape, so I'm going to go ahead and add a bead of glue, and then I'm flattening that bead of glue out with my finger, and then we're going to go ahead and put the gold tape over top of that. That way we know it's going to stay nice and secure. Now I just want to put a second one at the bottom of that little picture, that image that we had adhered to the envelope. I'd like to make this envelope a little bit interactive, so I think I'm going to attach it into the journal in such a way that it flips like a page would. So I bought a little dress at the thrift store, and it was a child-sized dress. I think maybe like a, I don't know, 3T or something like that. Anyway, it's got the perfect colors for this fairy journal, and so I've been using it in the journal to put it together. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of the fabric from that dress to create a fabric hinge so that this envelope can flip open. All right, so here's some of the fabric. I'm just going to snip the end of it and then tear the rest of it. You guys know, if you follow some of my work, that I do prefer to tear my fabrics. That is one of the reasons why I absolutely love cotton, because cotton can be torn. Not all fabrics can be torn. I like that little sort of, it's not a rough edge, but it's sort of a frilly edge. I end up tearing and then pulling out the loose fibers, and then it leaves like just this nice sort of fluffy frilly edge, and I do like that. I'm trying to decide how and where exactly do I want this envelope to go. So on this side of a page, this is a card here that I had attached to the journal page. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use the edge of this page as part of the hinge. You know, I'm going to glue the fabric to it, which will, and then I'll glue the fabric to the edge of this page, and then I'll glue the rest of the side of the fabric onto the envelope, and then that way it becomes a hinge. I hope that makes sense. All right, the first side of the fabric is glued onto that page. Now we're going to go ahead and glue the envelope to the fabric. We are going to clean up the ends simply by snipping them off with my scissors. Now let's test this out and see if it's going to work properly. Yep, there it goes. All right, I have put the tag that we made inside of it, so you can see that through the window envelope. Now that I can see what it's going to look like, I'd like to add just a little bit of embellishment to the outside of the envelope. So I have a little ticket here, and we're going to glue that on. I don't want to use the word never. Never is a very, very strong word. I rarely put things on straight. So you'll see that I have attached the ticket at an angle. Now we always want to add a little bit more. So I have, this almost looks like a faux stamp. It's not one, but it's just a little tiny piece of art. And we're going to put that on top of the ticket in the opposite angle. It's nice to work in threes, so I want to go ahead and add one more thing to this little embellishment situation that I'm putting on here. So I'm going to use this button. It's a real pretty button. It just flew out of my hand. But first, before we even try to glue the button, we are going to sand we're just going to sand the back side that we're going to glue. If you go to glue things on and they have a shiny surface, they sometimes won't stick because they're not porous. So I always use a little sandpaper, especially on my buttons, and then I will adhere that with the 3-in-1. Before we adhere it, we do have to wipe it down with a clean cloth because if you leave the sanded part on there, obviously it's not going to grab well. Once I get that on there in the spot that I like, then I will hold it on there until it dries with one of my clothespins. Now I don't want to make this part of the journal too thick, so I think on the other side, instead of embellishing it and getting crazy, we will add a piece of stationery. I was very fortunate to find a stack. It's not even really stationery. It was like one of those pads that, you know, you just tear the top sheet off. So it was just one of those. So I found it at the thrift store. It did not cost me much, maybe 69 cents. And I think the pattern is great. And so we're going to go ahead and adhere that to the back of this envelope. Now you saw that I went around the edges with my tacky glue, and then I'm doing the center with the glue stick. But you'll notice on something like this, I will always do the edges with the tacky glue just to ensure that it stays glued down. All right, so once we get that dry, I want to take a look, see how this works. And there we go, it's flipping open. Then we would turn the page and there's the other side. And I love it. I love how it turned out. It's got some sparkle, it's decorated, but it's not over the top. Now the tag that is in the envelope doesn't have a tab or any ribbon or anything like that. So what I decided to do in this journal is I didn't use any of my, I want to call it a brad, but it's not a brad, Eyelets. I haven't used any eyelets. What I decided to do was to create, instead of using eyelets and ribbon, I decided that I would create these little pull tags out of fabric. So that's what we're going to do here. Friends, thank you so much for crafting along with me and spending some time with me. I am looking forward to you being able to see the flip through of this journal. That will be the next video on the fairy journal, will be the flip through. Thanks for watching. See you soon.